Hello everybody and welcome back to another video for the day. We are heading back in the r/AmITheDevil, and if you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. Also, if you guys would love to save 10% on your next order of gamer subs, use code Tommy at checkout or click the link down below. It will automatically apply the discount to your transaction and it helps support the channel. A 30-year-old, no criminal background, Wichita, Kansas. Today, I was put in cuffs and slammed against a window over an energy drink that I didn't steal. I went to a local Dillon's today, a grocery store owned by Kroger. When I go shopping there, I tend to pick up a Monster energy drink while I shop. I always pay for them. When I grabbed one out of the store fridge today and opened it, I noticed that it was flat and dented. I threw it away in the trash can in the store. I grabbed a new one, paid for the new one with my groceries on the way out. A manager, and I can only assume since his badge was backwards, a security guard stopped me just outside of the door, placing a hand on my shoulder and asking me to come back inside. I did, and when we got back into the store, they pointed to the steel door and obscure staircase and told me to go up to it. I refused. They told me that I damaged property and it was stealing. I told them that it was damaged when I picked it up and threw it away. I apologized for not bringing it up to an associate, but they didn't care. They assumed, security guard, kept telling me that I just need to come upstairs and make it right, and told me that I should pay for the drink. Apparently, my opening it meant that I had damaged the already damaged product. I refused to pay for it, refused to go upstairs, and they told me they'd call the police if I didn't comply. I sat by their ice chest, telling them that I would wait until the police arrived. While I waited, I called the emergency lines and explained that I have extreme anxiety problems and asked that they inform the officers that I was stepping out for a cigar and attempting to calm down. In the process of heading out, 2 officers came in the door. They asked me to come back inside, and I did. I explained that I was on the phone with the emergency lines, while one officer demanded that I go up the same stairs the security guard had indicated earlier. I refused and told the officer that they could take me to the police station, but I would not go up the stairs. Now is a good time to mention that I'm on medication for bipolar disorder and severe anxiety. As I was telling the officer that I would go to the police office, I felt one of them sliding a handcuff over my wrist behind my back. No warning, no nothing. I panicked and tried to turn to see what was happening, and an officer restrained me as they continued trying to put on the cuffs. Edit. I remember that I did turn back and forth, asking what they were doing and trying to see. I did try to remain calm after I realized there was no sense in struggling. I settled down and waited, but then they started dragging me up the stairs again. I panicked and tried to back away. I told them I wouldn't go up and would go to the station. I struggled hard, and one officer shoved my face first against the store window while they checked the cuffs. They tried again to drag me upstairs, and I guess I braced my foot on the door to try and stop. It was terrifying, and by the time they got me upstairs, I was nearly in tears. They were telling me to comply. I was shouting that I would, but I would not go up the stairs. In the office upstairs, I argued with the officer that he couldn't do this and that it was assault. I felt like it was. I told him that I wasn't under arrest and hadn't been read my rights. So it was wrong. He told me that it wasn't assault, that I was under arrest, and that being in cuffs means that I'm under arrest. Once he said that, I did my best to settle. I sat calmly for the rest of the I don't know what to call it in the office after being told I was under arrest. Inside, I was full panic. I explained to someone that I had mental issues I am being medicated for, and suddenly everyone calmed down. A high-ranking officer showed up to review the tape of the arrest because of my screaming and flailing while I had been cuffed. I'm guessing someone had called the police. Anyways, I gave them all of my information and told them my side of the story when asked. the whole time choking back tears. They told me they were giving me a ticket, but the aggressive officer and security guard kept talking to me. You understand why we had to stop you. You understand the store's reasoning. I did tell you that you were under arrest. The security guard repeatedly equated himself to the police, telling me about how they did their jobs. Finally, they wrote me a ticket and said that I could go, telling me about a court date next month. Two important things was when I was being cuffed and cooperating prior to being dragged upstairs, I called the security guard a small D frog. If you can understand what I just implied, yeah, you understand why it's blocked off, because no, this is not allowed on YouTube at all. Not my brightest moment, but I better own up to it now. Also, my left wrist and thumb are completely numb after the struggle. I have cuts and impressions from the cuffs, and they adjusted them and made sure they fit after I told them about it. I made sure the officer noted the complaint in his report. What do? I don't get in legal trouble, and I feel like I should just pay whatever ticket it is and move on. But I also don't think that this is fair or right. I feel like I've been wronged. Have I? Should I do anything? Edit. I get that throwing away the drink was a dumb idea. I just honestly didn't think about it. It was early, I was getting breakfast. It just didn't occur to me. I don't think I'll ever understand anybody's thought process whenever it comes to opening up packages, drinks, food before you get to the register, because, like, for example, this one. The person didn't like the drink, so they thought it was a smart idea to just throw it out because, oh, it's flat anyway. And, guess what happened? You got into some kind of deep shit. And also, you said that you were acting calm and complying with them, except for when, they told you to do something and then you didn't want to act calm or comply. For some reason, you thought that something really bad was going to happen if you happened to go into the room that they were happening to instruct you towards, which most likely was a managerial office where they're able to keep you out of the public and, interview you to see why exactly it is you decided to do that. Then also on the technical side of it, when it comes to retail businesses, if a product is deemed defective, the store has to write it out as damaged product. You can't just simply throw it out because it's flat. As somebody who's been working the closing shift of retail business for, I'd say, the past 8 years, there are procedures to these. Oh yeah, that, and also way to go calling the cops slurs and, absolutely acting belligerent, and then wondering why the cops don't exactly like you. Plus also resisting arrest, which is very much what you were doing, is another charge that you can get slapped with. All you had to do was pay for the damn drink. But no, you decided to blow this out of proportion, and even after describing everything as you did yourself, you still tried to see yourself as the better person in it all. Should I do what is best for my son? I got married and was very clear beforehand about never wanting to have kids. But I was baby trapped by my wife, who lied about using birth control and then refused to have a deletion. Things were pretty rough between me and her because of that and a lot of other reasons, but I stayed with her and helped raise our son because I felt like it was the right thing to do. But things kept on getting worse. She's extremely unstable and lies all the time. So, about a year ago, I left and got my own place. My son is 5 years old right now. We've been co-parenting for the last year, with me watching our son 2 to 3 days a week. I want to keep doing this because it means that I can look after my son and be a part of his life, while still having days where I don't need to deal with all of the stress of being a parent, because I really don't like it. However, things between my ex-wife and son aren't great. She is emotionally unstable and has poor self-control, and she doesn't listen to him. Doesn't get along with him nearly as well as I do. And sometimes, when she is in a bad mood, she'll take out her anger at him by shouting, pushing him, or threatening to neglect him, like not feeding him, etc. Most of the time, she is an okay parent, but seeing how she acts when she is in a bad mood, and seeing how my son always says that he wants to stay with me and not her, it's obvious that this isn't a great situation for him. I don't think she'll do anything dumb enough to seriously injure him, but he is going to have a lot of issues growing up in this kind of environment. The problem is that, again, even though I can play the part of a good parent, I don't even like kids. I'm very introverted, maybe even autistic, and very sensitive to noise and distractions. I need a lot of time to myself to stay sane, and I just can't get that when I'm a solo father. I don't have any kind of family to support me in this country, so if I take full custody, I'm going to be all on my own, and the only time I'll have to myself is when he is in school or when I pay for extracurricular activities or babysitters, which gets expensive. I don't think I'll be able to get child support from her even if I take full custody. I also would really like to date and get a new partner. But if I have a child, I am solely responsible for 99% of women who are just going to refuse to have anything to do with me. And the ones who are okay with a guy with a kid are probably women who like kids and want to have more kids. Which, again, I don't want. I didn't even want one, let alone to build an even bigger family. To make matters worse, she's not adapting well to co-parenting. She regularly tries to start fights with me, even when our son is right there, and I'm reminding her that we should not argue in front of him. She has also made false allegations about me to my friends and family, and tried to turn people against me, and is generally doing everything in her power to hurt me, so I would really like to get her out of my life entirely. So, in short, 1. Should I pursue my own happiness by just giving her full custody and paying child support and getting out of the situation entirely so I can start living the life I want to have again? 2. Should I put my son's happiness first by trying to get full custody, even though I'll probably have to give up on all of my dreams, happiness, and any chance of having a new partner for the next 13 years? Or 3. Should I keep on trying to co-parent, even though my ex is basically trying to destroy my life, and just seeing me is sometimes enough to set her off? You know, if you really don't want to have kids, it is probably best if both people in the relationship happen to make an effort to reduce their chances of one of them getting pregnant, regardless of whether or not it was just like the 1% of the times that the rubber don't work, or if she actually did baby trap you. You still could have actually done something on your end if you didn't actually do the whole wrapping it up part. If you know that your wife is doing something bad to your child, then you can't exactly just say, come on, just let me relax. You know that you need to act. Am I the a-hole? Please call because I was stalking her. Before I start, unsure if this is breaking rule number 11. If so, please remove. For context, I'm a 31-year-old man living in Antwerp, Belgium, and recently had the police called on me for stalking a woman that I was seeing. I met this woman, 30F, online at the end of December through Threads. She made a post about wanting to meet new people because it's hard to make connections in Antwerp, especially for people of Asian descent. I'm originally from Hong Kong, so I thought it would be nice to connect with someone who speaks the same language. I DM'd her, and we ended up meeting for brunch. We hit it off well. After brunch, she wanted to see my 2 adorable cats, so we headed to my apartment. Everything went great. We even watched a movie before she went home. I texted her the next day, asking if I could cook her dinner. She agreed, but asked if she could bring a friend, an artist who draws cats and is crazy about them. I thought it was a little weird, but I went along with it. The next day, I cooked for the 3 of us, and we started a Harry Potter marathon. In the following weeks, things continued going well. We regularly hung out at my store or my home to watch the rest of the movies. At one point, I noticed that she was using dating apps. She usually opened one while we were watching a movie. She apologized, saying that it was inappropriate. She told me that we weren't exclusive, but she wasn't seeing anyone else at the moment. She also said that if we were seeing each other exclusively, it would be no different than being in a relationship, and that she wasn't ready for one. I asked her to just be honest with me if she started dating someone else. Every 2 weeks, I sent flowers to her office to show my interest and appreciation. We had a deeper conversation about relationships, and she shared that she had been cheated on about 8 months ago, in July, and was skeptical about getting into a new relationship. She said that she wanted to take things slow. She also mentioned that she's into European men, blonde hair, blue eyes, but reassured me that it was just a preference and not who we'll eventually end up with, and that she still found me attractive for an Asian. Fast forward 2 weeks. Things were going well. She had a work trip to Pitti Uomodo in Florence, and before she left, we spent the night together for the first time. We did mess around, but she made it clear that it didn't change the nature of our relationship. I left the next morning, and we continued texting while she was in Italy. During her 3-day stay, she confessed that she was starting to like me. In response, I asked if she had considered deleting her dating apps. I tend to overthink a lot. She didn't take it well and had a breakdown, saying she was damaged and not ready to fully accept someone new in her life. This is where I really messed up. I downloaded Tinder to check if her account was active while she was in Italy, and then, stupidly, I admitted it to her. She was understandably uncomfortable, and I apologized. When she got back, I treated her to dinner and gave her a gift. A very specific comb. Officine Universelle Bully. She'd lost and could only get in Paris. I actually went to Paris just to buy it for her. That night, we watched a movie, messed around again, and everything seemed good. But she was still clearly affected by the Tinder situation, and said that it made her uncomfortable, though she wanted to keep seeing me because she felt I was a genuine guy. She often had asked if I thought the situation was unfair to me since I treated her so well while she wasn't ready for a relationship. I always assured her that I just wanted her to be happy and comfortable. She regularly sent me pictures of things that she wanted, not directly asking for them, but clearly hinting. I didn't think much of it at the time. I bought her a very nice denim jacket in every available size so that she could choose, and workout shoes since she didn't have any. She was shocked and happy. She even leaned in for a kiss, which made me think that things were going well. In the following weeks, I kept spoiling her with gifts, designer clothes and shoes, and kept sending her flowers to her office. On Valentine's Day, I pre-ordered flowers for her, but she messaged me asking not to send them to her office because her boss would question her about them. I was pretty hurt by this. I told her I couldn't cancel the delivery and suggested that she refuse them at the door if it made her uncomfortable. She got upset and said that I was being extreme and inconsiderate. In the end, she accepted the flowers. That evening, I got a special cake from a fancy pastry, and I waited outside of her house to surprise her after work. She usually gets home around 5:15, but by 6:30 p.m., she still wasn't there. Cold and frustrated, I left the cake at the door. When I asked why she hadn't shown up, she said that she went straight to the gym after work, taking the flowers with her. The next day, we had a trip planned to Amsterdam for a nice dinner that I had arranged. And despite the tension, it still happened. But something had shifted. She didn't kiss me anymore and said that she wanted to take a step back so that we could move forward in a healthier way. I felt sad, but tried to act as usual. I paid for the entire day. Sunday, the 16th of February, we went to Rotterdam to watch a Hong Kong movie since it was only shown in the Netherlands, and she invited the same friend from the beginning. I paid for both of them again. In the following weeks, I kept cooking for her and buying her designer clothes and shoes, things that she had hinted at but never directly asked for. She started kissing me again, and things seemed okay. She mentioned that she was getting busy with work and preparing for an upcoming photo shoot, so I gave her some space. Fast forward to this past Friday. She came over for dinner, and we watched Culinary Class Wars episode 12. We talked about intimacy since we hadn't had that messing around since January. I asked if we could be more intimate, and she said that if we did have it, it would mean that we were in a relationship, and she wasn't ready for that. She also said that she wasn't attracted to me in that way, but was fine with kissing and cuddling because it doesn't mean much to her. I was appalled and felt sick hearing that. Earlier in the evening, I had tried to initiate intimacy without knowing how she felt. And after this conversation, I felt completely rejected. She mentioned that she is already trying her best because she gives me her time. Hurt and frustrated, I asked for the gifts that I had given her back. Not because of the lack of that, but because I felt that she had been giving me false help while continuing to accept everything that I did for her. And she never offered to pay for anything I did. The only thing that she got me were 3 mandarin oranges. She said that she only cooks for her boyfriend, and only held hands with her boyfriends. So, in the 2 months, only lips were kissed, cuddles were made, and no hands were held. She refused, saying it doesn't work like that, and left angry. Later, I found out that she had blocked me. Agitated, I took an Uber to her place and rang her doorbell. She didn't answer, but she picked up when I called and said that she blocked me because she was angry and had since unblocked me from everywhere. She said that she was scared and asked me to leave, so I did. We kept talking on the phone, and she accused me of asking for my stuff back only because I hadn't messed around with her, which wasn't true. I told her that I felt that she didn't deserve the gifts because she kept giving me mixed signals, while still accepting everything I'd given her. She said that I was gaslighting her. Still upset, I went back to her place again and tried calling. After 6 calls, a man answered and said, "Local police of Antwerp, who are you, sir?" They told me they had my information, and if you're not coming here, we will come to arrest you, they said. About 15 minutes later, I arrived at her place and saw a police car parked in the middle of the road. I approached the officers and calmly explained my side of the story, as I told them I understand why she's scared, but never intended to escalate the situation. They were understanding and even expressed sympathy for my situation, but they made it clear that she had no legal obligation to return any of the gifts that I had given her. As we talked, I noticed the designer handbag I had given her sitting in the front of her door, filled with some of the gifts that I bought. I told the police that I didn't want to escalate the situation. I just wanted my belongings back. They warned me, however, that if I returned to her place again, I would be arrested. Even after taking the bag, I realized that not everything I'd given her was inside. I still wanted the rest back, because at this point I didn't feel she deserved to keep them. Now she blocked me from everywhere, including her friends. My heart is broken. Am I the a-hole or just freaking stupid? Oh, don't worry, dude can be both. That is absolutely certain. But with that, that is going to have to be the video. If you guys would love to be absolutely amazing, show your support, and see more videos like this one in the near future, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment down below to start up them wholesome internet discussions, and if you guys have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on them notifications. I'll be sure to see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye.